Point number 6, irreducible complexity. Complex life formed by chance or by design. Now, theistic view, creation point. A single system which is composed of several interacting parts that contribute to the basic function and where the removal of any one of the parts cause the system to effectively cease functioning. Living things are literally filled with molecular machines that perform the numerous functions of life. These molecular machines are irreducibly complex, meaning that all the parts of each machine must be completely formed in the right places, in the right sizes, in operating order at the same time for the machine to function. It refutes gradual evolution from one species into another, genetic mutation. Supporters of intelligent design argue that anything less than the complete form of such a system or organ would not work at all, or would in fact be detrimental to the organism and would therefore never survive the process of natural selection. Now, atheist view, evolution point. Complex biological systems have evolved from simpler or less complete predecessors through natural selection, acting upon a series of advantageous naturally occurring chance mutations. According to the theory of evolution, genetic variation occur without specific design or intent. The environmental select the variants that have the highest fitness, which are then passed on to the next generation of organisms. Change occurs by the gradual operation of natural forces over time, perhaps slowly, perhaps more quickly. In 1859, Charles Darwin wrote, "If it could be demonstrated that any complex organ exists which could not possibly have been formed by numerous successive slight modification, my theory would absolutely break down." We now know that there are many organ systems and processes in life that fit that description. One of those is the cell. In Darwin's day, the cell was a black box, a mysterious little part of life that no one could see into. But now that we have the ability to peer into the cell, we see that life at the molecular level is immeasurably more complex than Darwin ever dreamed. Michael Behe's controversial book, Darwin's Black Box, popularized the concept of irreducible complexity. He first used the term irreducible complexity in his 1996 book, Darwin's Black Box, to refer to certain complex biochemical cellular systems. He posits that evolutionary mechanisms cannot explain the development of such irreducibly complex systems. Intelligent design advocates argue that irreducibly complex systems must have been deliberately engineered by some form of intelligence. For instance, an eye or brain or any intestinal part would not work properly at all if they were formed gradually for a long period of time. How could these parts survive during evolution? All the parts of each organism must be completely formed in the right places, in the right size, in operating order at the same time for the system to function. What about the evolution of the eye? In a passage from On the Origin of a Species, Charles Darwin appears to acknowledge that the eye's development has a difficulty for his theory. He notes that to suppose that the eye could have been formed by natural selection seems, I freely confess, absurd in the highest possible degree. The eye is an example of supposedly irreducibly complex structure, due to its many elaborate and interlocking parts, seemingly all dependent upon one another. Behe used the development of the eye problem as evidence for intelligent design in Darwin's Black Box. Creationist Jonathan Safari had described the eye as evolutionary biology's greatest challenge, as an example of superb, irreducible complexity in God's creation. specifically pointing to the supposed vast complexity required for transparency. The entropy principle as in irreducible complexity. Like a small change in the spaceship, a small change in the universe would result in big problems for us as well. Scientists have discovered that the universe, like spacecraft, is precisely designed to create the very narrow envelope of life-supporting conditions here on Earth. Any slight deviation in any one of a number of environmental and physical factors, what we have been calling constants, would preclude us from even existing.